In just 9 minutes, discover 10 shocking takeaways from Joe Rogan's raw conversation with actor Jeremy Renner. Hear how a snowplow crushed his body, why painkillers nearly broke him, and what saved his life. From trauma and recovery to mindset, Rogan's wisdom, and Renner's new book, this summary has everything you're here for. Takeaway 1, a snowplow crushed his whole body. Jeremy Renner's accident happened on New Year's Day 2023. He was trying to stop a snowplow from hitting his nephew when it ran him over. The machine weighed about 16,000 pounds and crushed him from head to toe. He broke 38 bones, his eye popped out of his head, and his skull was cracked. He said, "It felt like drowning, being struck by lightning and bleeding out all at once." The snowplow tracks had 6 wheels, and Jeremy could feel each wheel run over him. By the 6th wheel, he just hoped it would end quickly. For example, he said he saw his own eyeball hanging out and calmly thought, "Maybe I can keep it if I put it on ice," while lying on an icy road, bleeding out, with a collapsed lung and shattered ribs. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. His recovery was a full-time obsession. After barely surviving, Jeremy Renner treated recovery like a full-time job. Every part of his day was planned around healing. He didn't work, didn't socialize much, and even stopped parenting temporarily to give himself the best chance to survive and thrive. He poured everything into getting better. Recovery was a 24-hour day job, he said. His focus was to stand, walk, stretch, and regain strength, no matter how small the progress. He did not hope to get better. He decided to get better. For example, still in a wheelchair, he would tie resistance bands to a table and press against them to simulate leg workouts. This helped bring blood to the muscles and start the rebuilding process even before he could walk. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3, love for his family fueled his healing. Jeremy's strongest motivation was not survival, it was love. He kept going because of his daughter and family. Seeing their faces light up with each small win gave him strength. The first time he stood up, the first time he moved to a chair, or even when he stopped peeing into a jar, these moments brought hope to his loved ones. He said, "I saw their faces get a little less horrified, even joyful." For example, he described how his family's reaction when he could sit in a wheelchair without assistance gave him enough energy to push harder the next day. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. He rejected the victim mindset completely. Even after a near-death experience, Jeremy never allowed himself to feel like a victim. He refused to think about what was lost. He refused pity. What's the alternative? He kept asking. To suffer and limp around through life? No way. He decided to be better than ever. He even joked, "Unplug the machine if that's my only option. Being dead would be better than living like that." For example, when told he might walk with a limp forever, Jeremy not only proved doctors wrong, but went on to run again. He believes being mentally tough made that possible. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5, painkillers were harder than the accident. Jeremy says getting off OxyContin was worse than the accident. He went cold turkey, which doctors strongly advise against. He didn't realize how dangerous it would be until he found himself crying uncontrollably for days. He said, "I cried for 3.5 days straight, not because I was sad, I just couldn't stop." He had shivering fits, intense pain, and couldn't sleep. When he called the pain specialist, they told him he had made a huge mistake. For example, he said that he cracked a molar during a night terror, and the pain went straight to the nerve. Despite being on Oxy, he felt the full intensity of the pain. That's when he realized the meds weren't even helping anymore, and decided to quit them entirely. We're halfway through the video. Thanks for sticking with us. If you're enjoying it, hit the thumbs up and share it in your WhatsApp groups. If you'd like to support us, please tap the thanks button below. It helps us keep making great content. Drop a comment and don't forget to hit subscribe for more. Now let's continue with the video. Takeaway 6. Suffering reveals what truly matters. Jeremy says nearly dying changed the way he sees everything. He stopped caring about things that once felt important, like career, money, and reputation. He now only values things that have deep meaning. "All the bullshit is gone," he said. He doesn't feel like he fits into modern society anymore, which focuses too much on material things and not enough on love and health. He now lives simply and only does things that bring joy or purpose. For example, he mentioned how he often finds himself disconnected from Hollywood life and prefers time in nature with his family. The only thing he says he truly chases now is meaningful connection with others. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. His book is a raw, emotional record. Jeremy's new book, My Next Breath, is more than just a memoir. It is a way to help others survive their own pain. He resisted writing it at first because it meant reliving his trauma, word by word, but eventually he saw it as a mission. Maybe someone will read this while they're suffering and find something to hold on to, he said. The book includes the 911 call, his emotional struggle with withdrawal, and even how he had screws pulled from his skull using tools bought from Home Depot. For example, the book also includes a surprising chapter on Lamaze breathing. He had learned it as a 12-year-old when his mom took him to her pregnancy classes. That memory returned during his recovery and helped him manage physical pain through breathwork. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. Rogan says comfort is killing people. Joe Rogan delivered one of the most powerful rants in the podcast. He said that people today are depressed and anxious because life is too easy. It's the safest time in history, yet everyone's miserable, he said. According to him, people avoid effort and chase comfort, and that makes them weak. Poor people are fat now. That's how easy it is to live. Joe believes people need suffering to develop strength and resilience. Without it, even minor challenges seem overwhelming. For example, Joe shared a story about camping in the rain for a week. It was miserable. But when he came back to Los Angeles and sat in the sun, it felt like the best moment of his life. That suffering made him appreciate something simple in a way he never had before. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. Physical suffering is required for growth. Joe and Jeremy both agreed that without pain and suffering, people can never truly grow. Jeremy said, "Real love can't exist without suffering. Suffering shows you what matters and forces you to rise." Joe added, "You have to conquer your inner bitch." That inner voice that tells you to skip the hard things is the reason most people feel stuck in life. The solution is to do the opposite of what comfort tells you. For example, Jeremy created a full rehab center in his house and is now thinking of opening it to others. Not because he needs to, but because he knows that shared suffering builds community and healing is stronger in a group. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. He used cutting-edge tools to recover. Jeremy's recovery involved much more than traditional therapy. He used high-end tools like a hyperbaric chamber, red light therapy bed, peptide injections, hormone therapy, and blood panel tracking. He said that most of these tools didn't make him feel amazing. They just made the pain slightly more bearable. With hyperbaric, you don't feel great. You just feel a little less like shit, he explained. For example, he uses a red light bed shaped like a coffin that heats up faster than a sauna and drives oxygen deeper into the tissue. Afterward, he goes straight into a cold lake in Tahoe to reduce inflammation and retrain his legs on the sand for stability. Here is a brief introduction about Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner is an actor, musician, philanthropist, and author. His new book, My Next Breath, a Memoir, is available now. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support this channel, hit the thanks button below. It really helps us keep going. If you enjoyed this summary, please leave a like and share it in your WhatsApp groups. To join discussion about this video, drop a comment below. And for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button below.